The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys! This is Mick Shots. Streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Savannah Humoller, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
It's a fabulous fight song Friday.
It is.
Can't catch his breath.
I wasn't catching my breath.
Yes,
I was
you were.
waiting for Stampede. We are stampeding into a wonderful sports weekend here in North Texas.
Stampede.
What's the biggest game of the weekend?
Yeah, tonight.
Tonight? Game one?
Game one. Let's
Or
kick
is
it
it
off.
Mavericks game one? Or is it tomorrow night game two? Or is it Cowboys Rams on Sunday at noon? I'm saying it's Cowboys Rams at Sunday at noon. What do you say, Mr. Cowboy over there, Mickey Spagnola? What do you got? You got your Cowboy star on?
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge game for the
That's
Dallas
his Mike
Cowboys.
McCarthy outfit he's got
We
on.
need to talk wardrobe off the top here. Look at Savannah.
I know.
Yeah.
How about them Cowboys?
That's pretty sweet.
Why are you
there.
talking wardrobe now? I had on a new shirt yesterday. You guys didn't say a word.
What
Come
did
on.
it look like?
See? You don't even remember.
Oh, no.
Was it a Cowboy shirt?
It was a Cowboy shirt. Well,
Was
no,
it?
it wasn't. Yeah, it was a Cowboy shirt, but it was like I don't know. It was a freaking shirt, man. Come on. I had a shirt.
I love
on.
your
It was a Cowboy
Grambling shirt you have on
Oh,
today.
well, thanks. Yeah. Well,
That's-
you know,
Where's
appreciate it.
Mizzou?
I wrote it yesterday.
Did they play yesterday?
No, they got a bye this week.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good.
They can't lose.
All right, right off the top.
7-1, ranked number.
Hey, I've been checking you guys
16, okay.
out. Y'all doing well.
There you
man.
go. Right off the top, can we talk game day attire?
Yes.
Sure.
Because I came in here hot today. I got here right at noon. Because when was the last time you went to a shopping mall?
Like
Well, you actually went and to buy
indoors.
something at the store, brick and mortar.
Yeah, it's been a
Been a long time, huh?
Years.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. I thought Savannah, but I figured
mean, to
you
be
buy all your
fair,
stuff online, don't you, Savannah?
I do, but sometimes when, you're missing something, it's just easier to go to the store real quick and
Right
buy
there.
something.
That's what I needed. And so my daughter, who is a fashion designer, and she does all her work online. I mean, that's what they do. Your age, Savannah, right?
Yeah.
Hey, my
And so she advised me I needed, I look around covering the World Series tonight. I look around at these reporters and journalists. And
Don't even try.
What, Mickey? What? And they're wearing like coat and tie with tennis shoes on, right?
Yes, that's the new thing.
Absolutely.
That's the
Yeah.
thing.
That's the
I've been doing
style
that
these
for
days.
years.
And my
Mickey
wife
started that
says,
trend.
no, you can't do that. You're
Man,
not 30
too.
years old.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I say, Ernie Johnson. Okay, I was at the Western Conference Finals where Shaq and Barkley and Ernie Johnson and Kenny Smith, they're all wearing white tennis shoes with a suit. Okay? So why can't I do that? Because you're not 30 years old.
Well, you know what? You should have told her Joe Buck and Troy Aikman do it every
No.
game they do.
My wife told me that we went to an Emmett Smith Foundation event, and Roger Staubach had on tennis shoes.
And then you
and
tell
she
her-
said, "Okay."
And then
You can do it.
And then you tell her Mickey Spagnola always wears tennis shoes with his suit now.
Oh no, you
Do
don't.
you really?
Oh, yeah.
But Mickey, nobody cares.
Absolutely.
You're not
But I
Roger
think-
Staubach.
But you
You're
get
not
to a
Roger
certain
Staubach.
age and you're wearing tennis shoes with, you're dressed up in a suit or whatever, you're wearing tennis shoes, it looked like you came from the assisted living place to the event.
No, you got to get nice tennis
I was going to
shoes.
say, it
Because
all
we need
depends on the
sensible
type
shoes,
of
don't
shoes.
What's that?
It all depends on the type of shoes.
Yeah. Okay.
It's got to be
Did
nice.
you ask your daughter?
I did,
what
and
did
she
say?
advised me, and there were some sneakers that she advised me to go get, and so that's why I came in here hot today. I stopped
they
over
call?
here at Stonebriar Mall. I had 10 minutes it was amazing. The exact shoes that she told me I needed to get. I go in there, they're on sale, half price, my size. I went, wow, this is unbelievable.
That's a Friday
Okay.
win.
And then I couldn't find anybody to wait on me. I'm waiting, and finally I go over to another department and say, "Is there anybody working here?"
Yeah.
And so I've got Mick shots at noon, and so anyway, that's
And
why
that
I came
helped.
in here.
And that guy came running when he heard that.
So anyway, my wife is out of town.
Oh, was that?
Okay, so my wife is out of town, so I
Ooh,
can.
mix shots.
What'd you say, Mickey?
I said the guy came
Ooh.
running when you told
Heard
him
of
you'd be
mix
late
shots.
for mix shots.
Ooh, mix shots. Can you get me an autograph?
I heard Everson Walls is on that show. And so my wife is out of town, and I think I can. So I know I can get out of the house wearing tennis shoes, dressed up today.
Did
and
you
so
bring
I'm
them
going to try
with
it.
you? Do you have them?
They're in my truck.
Oh, I
So
want to
this
see what you
this
got.
is your outfit for tonight, game
For
one.
tonight, yeah, and I'll go get
the
some
World
more tennis
Series.
shoes for the outfit for tomorrow night. Right?
And then
Yeah.
yes, tomorrow you have to have a new outfit. Yes.
Do you call them sneakers still?
Yeah.
They
Oh, you
did
call them
online.
sneakers?
They were
Okay, all right.
Chase sneakers.
No, I don't mean online. I mean this generation.
Look at it this way. Think
Kicks.
about when you cover a game, how much walking you do.
Exactly.
And where do you end up afterwards? In a locker room where tape is all over the place. You're on the field where all the little rubber things are in your shoes when you come home.
interesting.
Why not tennis shoes?
Interesting.
You're dressing.
Especially as big as AT&T Stadium is and Globe Life Field,
Yes.
they're
You need
humongous
some walking
ballparks.
shoes.
you're dressing
And where
to
we
your
get our
audience.
parking spaces.
You're even walking more.
That's right.
The last time I think I ruined a pair of shoes was that 1994 NFC title game in San Francisco when it seemed like the field was underwater. It's like, nope, not anymore. And
That's
then-
what I told my wife. I said it's a sporting event, okay? It's different rules for a sporting event.
That's true.
But apparently
That's
it's
true.
not. If Roger is going to a black tie affair,
Roger wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
No, they were all there. And I have a pass now.
Okay.
And
Good.
and by the
But
way,
like she said, they've got to look good still.
Yeah,
Right.
They gotta
Yeah.
be nice.
Like
can't-
the-
you can't
like-
get clunky.
like the
You can't
ones I
get
work out
clunky.
in don't.
and
No.
then-
I can't do that.
See,
And
I
then-
got my Air
See how
Jordan.
cute they
Yeah,
are.
there you
see,
go.
See?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then ask producer Supreme what he wore to his wedding.
I wonder what he wore to his wedding. I wasn't invited.
That's why I said to
another
ask
topic.
him. You think
Well,
he's
apparently,
listening right now?
producer Supreme is off doing something else. So.
No, I have to turn everything down in here. I'm eating my lunch at the same time. I do apologize.
What did you wear to your wedding?
I had Nikes on.
Okay.
There you
I
go.
like it.
Air
I had-
Jordans?
I,
Air Jordans?
I had Nike Chuck Taylors.
Okay.
So,
That's old school.
yeah.
That's what I
Wait,
wore in high
Nike,
school.
Chuck Taylors?
Did y'all?
Yeah.
No.
So
yeah, Nike. It wouldn't.
Nike bought Converse.
Oh, yeah.
So they made
You
like
wore
a Nike
Converse
shoe
Chuck
that
Taylors.
looked like a Chuck Taylor, but has a Nike swoosh on it. It was black and white. So
Nice.
Everson, you wore Chuck Taylors in high school, didn't you? Playing basketball.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So
I
did
tried to wear Chuck Taylors after I made the Cowboys. I bought a brand new pair. Went out there trying to play some basketball. I had blisters all over my damn feet.
Yeah,
I
those are
still
great.
have my. We were.
They're not made. The denim Chuck Taylors are not
No.
made for basketball.
No, not at all. That's what we wore in
Yeah,
high school.
I know.
I still have mine. It's unbelievable the lack of support there is there.
Do not hit
No
the
wonder I
hardcore.
couldn't dunk.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
It all adds
Well,
up
I
now.
could.
Well, and we were the Cardinals. We were red, so we had red. Chuck Taylors, and so you think we were slow? We really looked slow wearing red tennis shoes.
I had white ones. I don't think they started making colored ones.
Yeah.
You know, junior high, and they only were allowed to be worn in the gym. You carried them to school
That's
that day.
right.
Okay, one other thing on game day attire. This applies to the fans out there. What about wearing jerseys to games and that sort of thing, where everyone's good with people wearing, like 50-year-old men wearing.
If they're a fan, yeah, go ahead.
As long as it's not
me, but
not a basketball game.
Okay, you have to wear a uniform that
Yeah,
that
not
applies
with
to the sport that you're
a- you
going to
can't
watch.
wear-
yeah, don't come with like a
Don't come to
Pittsburgh Steelers
NBA,
jersey.
but
Yeah.
don't come to an NBA game with a sleeveless thing over a T-shirt.
Cowboys was playing somebody. They had a guy had a Dolphins jersey on. Like, why do you have a Dolphins jersey on? Neither team was
Right.
Miami.
And if I'm going to a
Exactly.
Missouri football game, I
Shouldn't wear
can't.
your Oklahoma
Okay,
jersey.
all right, yeah. Unless they're playing Oklahoma.
Unless they're playing
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to me, that guy is just being a jerk. He's just being a jerk. That's all
Yeah,
he's doing.
he's trying to get a reaction out of the
Thank
other
you.
people he's sitting around.
That's so true.
What he's doing.
That's
Yes.
so true. And they do get one. And
They do.
they
Why
love
are you
sitting
wearing
there.
that jersey?
Mm-hmm.
That's like at
the
one of the
point?
one of the preseason games this year. One of my daughter's friends, he lost to fantasy football, the league last year, and so the price he had to pay, finished last place in the league. He had to dress up in full football gear and go to a game. Okay, that was his penalty for finishing last, and so he went to one of the Cowboys preseason games. So they tell me, hey, this is something y'all might want to show during the game. He's going to be wearing a full football gear, helmet, shoulder pads, everything, watching the game. And so found out where he sits and everything. He was wearing a Packers uniform at a Cowboys preseason.
So it must have been his
What?
choice.
I'm like, I do games for the Cowboys TV network. We are not showing a Packers fan in full
I
uniform.
wonder if that was his choice.
Yeah.
Or did the guys on his fantasy team say, "Hey, you have
Yeah,
to do this
yeah.
Gotta
game"?
be Packers. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's a good way to start this
It
show.
really
you like
is,
that?
boy.
You liked it?
See what Savannah started with
I
her
know.
new shirt?
Thank you.
Do you have anything you'd like to add in this first segment? Is there any football you
Any
want to
other
get to?
Football I want to get to? In these practices, how they practice, right? I know they were in pads but how does Tyron Smith suffer a stinger?
Is he okay?
He was limited.
Oh, damn.
We had an addition to the injury report yesterday. It was just Wanye Thomas, full participant with a hamstring,
Yes.
and now Tyron Smith was limited with a neck.
But I think the Rams still are without their top two running backs, right? They got
Yes,
hurt. They didn't
they're on
play.
injured reserve.
So they're down to Freeman?
Royce Freeman and Daryl Henderson.
Henderson,
Yeah,
who they
who
just
Daryl
signed.
Henderson was.
Henderson's a good running back.
But no one had him.
No, and yeah, he wasn't with anyone. He was with the Rams, who drafted. He was third round pick, I think, of the Rams, same year that Tony Pollard. And he played at Memphis with Pollard.
Oh.
And he was the main running back, and Pollard was the. Imagine that. Pollard
Yeah,
was the
how about
second
that?
guy.
Yeah.
It seemed to work real well at Memphis, too. And so, anyway, the Rams released him last year in November. He got picked up briefly on Jacksonville's practice squad. Then they released him. And now he hadn't been with a team. I don't know that he was with a team. He could have been with a team in training camp. I'm not aware of it.
I don't think so.
But then he
let's
gets
find
signed
out.
a couple of weeks ago, and he actually had a really good
16.
game last week.
16 for 66 and,
That's
a,
right.
good.
and a touchdown.
Fresh
That's
legs.
a good running back, man.
Yeah.
He's a good running back. He always was. I don't know why they let him go. Was it injuries? Must have been.
I'm not sure. It could have been.
Who knows what happens in this league sometimes? Why
God.
is Rashawn Evans here?
I accidentally clicked onto our podcast.
Oh, wow.
How do we look?
We look good. We look good. We look good.
Bill's shoes okay?
But I'm looking at their running back situation. And they had Cam Akers to start the year, and they traded him to Minnesota.
Never fails. You think you have depth, you trade it away, and then the disease just comes and eats you up.
And Akers was a second-round pick in 2020. So it was time for him to move on since he's in his contract year anyway, and he wasn't the starter because Kyron Williams, who, if you play fantasy football, Kyron Williams was a big guy to pick up. He emerged all of a sudden this year, and catching the ball out of the backfield, 5th-round draft pick last year out of Notre Dame, but he got hurt. He's on injured reserve. Ronnie Rivers, another one who's on injured reserve. They have their 6th-round draft pick, Zach Evans, who started his college career at TCU and wound up at Ole Miss. He's got some real potential out of Galena Park North Shore High School.
Whoa, good stuff.
Yeah,
Nice program.
Nice
program.
great program. Always
Yes.
played Duncanville in the state championship game.
Exactly.
In fact, speaking of that, Zach Evans, who is a 5-star recruit, state championship weekend, Galena Park North Shore is up here at AT&T Stadium to play Duncanville, and the coach picks up all cell phones the night before the game. Well, I guess he had another cell phone. He got sent home and wasn't able to play in the state
boy.
championship game. So.
He had 2 phones.
So that
I
might
got
be
2
that.
phones.
In fact, just
17
thinking
years
about
old
it
in high
now,
school.
maybe he might have been playing with TCU at a game at AT&T Stadium. But now that I think about it, this might be his first opportunity to play at AT&T Stadium. He missed on that other one because of the cell phone issue in high school.
High school
that?
kids should not have 2 phones.
Well, I don't know if he had 2 phones or if he did. I don't know. And the story could be messed up to begin with, but it was something.
Okay.
That was how it got reported.
All right. Well, he didn't play.
He did not play. Apparently,
So,
he got sent home the night before the game.
Good thing they didn't do that back in the day in the NFL when guys broke curfew, right? Okay, we're sending you home. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, they just take some money from you.
Just don't get caught.
Yeah.
I think it was. We were in Mexico City for a preseason game, and some rookie. And like, if you're a rookie, why would you take the chance, right? They did bed check. He was in the room. Well, he forgot about the little deal that they put a card in the door, and then they come back and see if the card fell. That means somebody left the room. He got busted.
Yeah, we used to have to, like, in training camp, we had to sneak across the desert in the back of the hotel in Thousand Oaks. There's like cactus out there and all that kind of stuff, tumbleweed. We were like Bugs Bunny with tiptoes.
You know what we used to do? You know what we used to do?
Okay, guys, you ready to go? Push the car. Don't start it yet.
You had to, that desert you talked about, there was a big field
It's a
between
big field,
the
yeah.
softball stadium and the dorm parking lot that was farther away. So you had to go past the media dorm. I don't know if they knew that. We would sit out there at night drinking beer, and it'd be dark, and all of a sudden we'd see a car pull into the dorm lot and flash its lights. And then somebody we could see come tearing across the field, and we'd yell, "Hey, hey, hey, hey!" And the guy would go faster. The door,
It's too late when he says, "Hey, you're busted," right?
the door would open, and the guy would dive in, and the car would take off.
That was not me. That was not me. I was
In
gone.
the desert.
I was
with-
gone.
yeah.
In the desert.
So did you ever sneak out at night with and have to push your car out of the driveway and make a run?
You mean like at home?
Like at
Yeah,
home?
at home. Not in Thousand Oaks.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's,
That would have been
I got caught doing that once.
See, you know what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
there.
I know exactly what you're
that would have been too much trouble in my life.
I was sneaking out, and I was told my mom caught me. I said I was hungry. I was going to Jack in the Box. I didn't want to wake them. She
That's a
believed
good
me.
one.
It was fine. Yeah.
Wow, that's a good one. Boy, you got to watch this
hungry.
guy. You got to watch this guy.
Right.
I was sneaking in one night very quietly, got in, I was late, and next morning it's like, "Why are you late?" I said, "Well, I had a flat tire." They went and looked in the garage and go, "Yeah, but you didn't fix it." I had 2 blocks to go. I said, "I ain't stopping."
No,
here.
that's a
Just
good move.
take
That's a
care of
good
it in the
move.
You're
morning.
like, I'll
That's
figure
so
it
You
out
went the
later.
final 2 blocks on your rim.
Yeah, it was
2
flat,
blocks,
too.
that's not bad.
That's not
bad.
I
on
went
the rim.
slow, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Been there.
All right. Story time continues
All
here
righty.
in a moment here on Mick Shots.
Did we even talk?
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, the official roofer of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, that'll get us back on order.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes. Back to
Yes, we got to set the mood.
Now we're just going to read
football.
off. We're going to read off Mickey's legal pad the rest of the show.
I don't think I have anything new on the Rams. We talked about baby Ram, so we take care of that, right?
Little
Baby
McVay.
Ram?
Little McVay.
Little.
Yeah.
New one.
Yeah, good stuff.
That was my top note here earlier in the week, right?
And then he said, Sean McVay said after his baby was delivered on Tuesday, and then he went to go watch film of the Cowboys defense, and he wanted to go back to the hospital after watching Micah and everybody.
Pretty good line there on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you think about this defense, I mean, other than the 2 games, right, that they lost, they've been pretty darn good. And they really shut down the Chargers on the road, by the way. They limited Justin Herbert to an 84 quarterback rating, and for the season going into the game, he was at 111. You knew they wanted to run the ball with Eckler, and they limited them to 53 yards rushing. So the defense really stepped up, and the only 2 touchdowns they gave up, both on a short field, one thanks to a punt return into Cowboys territory, and then the other one from the 20-yard line on that goofy punt play. So they actually played pretty darn well against the Chargers.
Now, you were in there yesterday when we did our Telestrator segment with Will McClay for the coaches show.
I saw part of it.
He was diagramming, he was taking an up-close look at Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford, and then Aaron Donald as well. I mean, Stafford, the couple of throws that Will showed Stafford making, I'm like, you know what, even at age 35 or whatever he is now, he is still, and more than anything, he's over his injury that limited him last year coming off the Super Bowl win. He is making all the throws.
That's why my point on this is you better get pressure on Matthew Stafford. That's how you stop Nacua and Kupp. Because those guys will get open, and you saw the routes combination routes they were running. It's very difficult for the secondary to take those guys on. So you better get pressure on Stafford, and to get pressure on Stafford, you better stop their running game.
I was going to say that they're going to come out with the running game first.
Don't you think?
They're going to see if we can stop the running game, and from there, we're going to play action and the little dinky intermediate routes that Puka and Kupp are running. That's their running game. That's part of their running game.
And McVay will
that
probably
passing game is part of their running game.
And McVay will probably think, well, it wasn't who we had running the ball against the Cowboys. It was my running plays that got them open.
Yeah.
And, we remember what happened in that playoff game. So
C.J. Anderson.
C.J. Anderson.
And see, to me, good coaching is how you adapt to a blocking scheme, or how you invent a blocking scheme versus a particular defensive line. And we've been burned by that before, to where they knew just the moves to make. I don't know much about offensive line, but there are certain blocks, there are certain moves and certain adjustments that they make in their blocking scheme that could just rip us apart up front.
And that allows a Darrell Henderson, who hadn't played in a year, to come in there and rush for 61 yards.
Even like you said, Anderson,
Anderson,
same thing.
It was their first-round draft choice.
Out of Georgia, had a huge contract.
Right.
Yeah.
And they couldn't. They ran for like 270 yards that game.
And that's the thing about the Cowboys. We have to be able to make adjustments. Bill, you said it one show. If you make adjustments at halftime, it's too late. One of you guys said
no. The coaches basically said that. Yeah. If you're waiting to halftime to make adjustments, too late.
Yeah, it's got to be on the fly.
Because once you make the adjustment, now they're going to make the adjustment. Savannah, they're going to, okay, you made the adjustment. All right, now we're going to do play action, and we're going to go Cup and Puka.
Todd Gurley.
Yeah, Todd Gurley. God, they just ran right over him.
Todd Gurley, that was him. That was him. Yeah, thank you. That was
it's wild. I'm sitting there going, and everyone uses Zeke and Todd Gurley as the examples recently that you can't pay running backs.
Yeah.
So, or draft him in the first round.
I bet they were glad they did that year.
Mm-hmm.
How many sacks does Matthew Stafford? How many times has he been sacked this year?
That's a good question.
I believe quite a bit,
18,
by the way.
18.
According to ESPN.
18.
He does have 6 interceptions as well. So I think it's going to be very key applying that pressure
That's
to him
good
because
stuff.
he's already letting up some of those, as you can see through this.
And that's where
so
we're
far.
going to be successful, like she says. I mean, if we can't stop the running game, then we've got to get to Matthew Stafford.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We have to look at his age as a factor. Throwing the ball, great, but can he get away from the rush? You know.
And we talked about their offensive
And he's
line
not that
yesterday,
big,
right?
that huge. He's not a huge guy.
It wasn't an offensive line. You go, oh, look at all those first-round picks there. Right?
That's going to be where we're going to have to. I think our pass rush will take more advantage of them than in the running game.
And I thought Mike McCarthy this morning on the Fan, both talking offense and defense, and he had talked about how the defense is your thermostat to the team in whatever game you're playing, right? They got to set the temperature. And he said, 4-2, good start, good record, but we need to continue to grow.
Yes.
And I think that's this game, right? They've got to show us that they're capable of being what we thought they were going to be when we started the season.
Last week was a good start to that.
To that, right?
Yeah.
Because you can sit there and go, oh, the loss to Arizona, one of those things. But when you get crushed by San Francisco, then you're sitting there going, okay, did we overestimate this team? And I think now we start to find out. 5 in the next 7 games at home. You won the last game. You had your bye. It's against a Rams team that's 3-4. And you're at home trying to win your 11th straight home game. Now, can you do that? And I think that he's right. Now let's see some growth, especially offensively, to me, anyway.
I don't know if it's just me not necessarily being a morning guy. It seems like sometimes those noon games, they can be really weird. They can be really weird.
Can you remember the noon starts at Texas Stadium you guys had?
Yeah.
People were just showing up from church.
Yeah, that's right.
Dressed up, right?
Yeah.
For church, and then all of a sudden
it had a funny feel to it all the time.
The crowd was not into it.
Yeah, they're like, oh man, we're just,
it's like
we just got through playing, man.
Now entertain me and I'll cheer. Right.
I got something for you. Remember the other day I mentioned that when I watched Matthew Stafford in high school, I thought, I feel like I'm watching John Elway. I just looked up while y'all were talking. Not that I wasn't listening. I just compared Matthew Stafford's career stats to John Elway's.
Okay.
Here's the other thing to consider: is that, as we all know, with Elway, it was so late in his career before he won a Super Bowl. Yes. Now, he was with really good teams with Denver through the years, but it was finally he had to break through and got a couple late in his career.
Because of the running game.
Yeah. And
that's right, Mr. Davis.
And then Stafford, same way, where he gets a Super Bowl win. Now, he had to get traded from Detroit in order to get it with the Rams, whatever. All right. So, and it's different eras, okay, as far as the passing game goes.
Yeah.
But Elway, who came out in 1983 out of Stanford, in his career, he had 5,475 passing yards, 5,475. Right now, Stafford is at 53. I'm sorry. Screwed that up. It's not 5,000. Where am I on this?
We're going to give you a pass on that, not make fun of you.
Okay.
No, and he would not do that to us.
That's exactly
never.
right. No, passing yards. Elway had 51,400.
Say it had to be more than 5,000.
No.
That was one season.
51,000?
You know what? I had five. The one looked like a comma.
There you go. There you go.
51,475.
Writing like
I can't read my own writing. 51,475 yards. Stafford's at 53,990 yards in his career. Touchdowns. 300 for Elway against 226 interceptions. Stafford has 340 touchdowns, 175 interceptions. And again, it's a different. Your touchdowns, interceptions, they're going to be worse 30, 40 years ago than they are today, just because the game is different. One of the things that Elway had, especially early in his career, that Stafford didn't necessarily, although at times he could run a little bit, whatever. But Elway. He ran for 3,400 yards in his career and 33 touchdowns. So
Stafford ain't doing that.
Right, exactly.
He's nimble now.
Yeah.
Now
I remember
nimble.
Elway.
Yeah.
Elway, when he was in college at Stanford, they came to Norman, Oklahoma, and I was actually doing, as a student at OU, did play-by-play on their football games.
Did you have tennis shoes on?
And yeah, I'm sure I did.
I bet he did.
Or probably barefoot or wearing flip-flops. And he came in there, and they beat OU. They were up 31-0. I was going,
wow.
This is the first time I ever saw John Elway play, whatever.
Yeah.
But Stafford, he's got similar traits to what
He's
Elway
light
had,
on his feet, guys. He is light on his feet. What you have to worry about with a guy like Stafford, situational football. If it's a 2-minute drill, most likely he's gonna score. If it's at the end of the game, you better be careful because most likely it's gonna turn into points.
And his competitiveness.
Oh, definitely competitive. That's why I said don't underestimate his footwork, because I've seen him, doing 2-minute drills. He does what he has to do. That's what I always liked about him. He does everything that he has to do to make sure that 2-minute drill is successful. And if we leave it up to that, we better be careful.
So getting the Super Bowl win, is he a Hall of Famer?
I would not say that.
I don't know.
It's not what you would think, just because he was with Detroit for so many years. I mean, I just put his numbers up against Elway, who was a first ballot.
Numbers don't mean jack in
right.
the Hall of Fame, buddy.
But he does have a Super Bowl win now.
How many times Elway get to the Super Bowl, though? 4?
Something like that.
Close?
Well, yeah, that's tough. It's tough to compare a guy that went once and won to one that went 4 times.
And what was I said the other day? Stafford made the Pro Bowl like 1 time in his career.
Yeah.
And Elway made it 9 times.
Yeah,
I mean, it all
iffy.
sounds almost sacrilegious to say, this
I'm not trying to
Elway's
diss
a
his
quarterback
career at
god
all,
to
but I
even
just don't think it's
mention
Hall of
it.
Fame.
But then
Right.
I look at the numbers and now he has a Super Bowl win. How much do you hold against him that he had played with a horrible organization for a decade?
Hey, it is what it is. You better work with it.
Right. Yeah. They didn't give Archie Manning a break on that. Having played for the poor Saints always here. So speaking of Elway, Stafford, I think the key thing for this Cowboy defense is for the Cowboys to get off to a fast start and make them play from behind. You saw what happened to Purdy when he had to play from behind with San Francisco, and it'll be the same thing, and this will be my last baseball note, that the Rangers better get off to a fast start, because if they get in trailing against that Diamondbacks bullpen, they're going to be in trouble. So they need to get off to a fast start, because you're not scoring late against them, and you can put your defense on the football field in better shape if they're playing from behind.
I'd love to see Matthew on his heels every time he drops back to pass the ball. I'd love for Micah and D-Law to be harassing the hell out of him.
And let's go Dorrance Armstrong.
Hey.
There you go.
Well, that's going to be your pick to click?
That might be my pick to click. I shouldn't have gave it away.
There you go.
And with this offensive line that the Rams have, their opportunities should be there.
They better.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
They better.
Yeah. There's a big reason Andrew Whitworth was a key member of that, playing left tackle on that Super Bowl winning team at age 40. Okay. All right, we continue with more mixed shots. We got our picks to click and who wins on Sunday when we come back.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite. What a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swagger. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the cooler. America's team playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2023 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
And they snap it to Prescott, who looks right. It's not there. He escapes left. He'll run for a first down.
Just like football, when it comes to crypto, it's important to have a team you can trust. With blockchain.com, I know I'm in good hands. Since 2011, they've been trusted by millions around the world to buy, sell, and trade cryptocurrency.
Prescott's going to run this himself. Run it up the middle, and he scores.
Whether you're new to crypto or an active trader, they've got you covered. What are you waiting for? Get started at blockchain.com.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Back to Mick Shots.
Make a statement this football season with the new Nike Volt collection, a bold collection with neon accents that will make you stand out like the star you are. Head to a pro shop near you or log on to shop.dallascowboys.com, a Fanatics experience.
Okay, you just had your first broadcasting experience of that feeling that comes over you when either you lose your train of thought or you lose your place, and it feels like an eternity. Mickey can attest to it.
We call it the Mick. We call it the Mick. That's the Mick. Yes. That's
See, she
Mick.
was.
You know, there's times where, like for me, I'm doing a TV stand-up or whatever, and I can't think of the word that I want to use, and I'm stumbling, I'm fumbling, I'm mumbling, and it feels like it's lasting forever. Then you go back and look at it, and it really wasn't.
That's when you got to pull a George Reba and take one of those deep, long breaths.
George Reba.
George was great at that.
But we got distracted because Nate and Frisco is
no, Savannah was doing her homework on something there.
I can't, say, but
you can't say until you make your pick here.
Clicks to pick.
Yeah.
So I have my research.
And it's almost that time. Any other lasting mix shot that you need to give us before we make our picks?
McCarthy said the same thing about the offense, that they it's time to grow. And I understand the extenuating circumstances, especially with the running game, because they got into some games where teams knew all they were going to do at the end to salt the game away was to run the ball. So you kind of gang up on the run, and that had something to do with maybe their average. But I think the thing that's missing is the explosive plays from Tony Pollard. And I don't know, it's because he's got to carry the load and there's no surprise about his speed.
Rico Dowdle.
He wants Rico Dowdle in there?
Yeah, he wants Rico.
And, maybe a surprise attack. Pollard did his interview this week, and he was really mad at himself that he got caught from behind on that. Was it a swing pass?
Yeah, he took the wrong. Yeah. I mean, if he would have just veered
it was
left.
in the middle of the field.
He said he didn't see the guy. He didn't know anybody was there. Because he said if I knew he was there,
blind spot.
I would have veered to my left. And he goes, when I got up, he goes, I was so mad at myself.
That should have been a touchdown.
He needed one of those video boards at the end so you can look up and see who's chasing.
Instant replay.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. So other than that, I think the head coach realizes, 6 games is good. Now they're in their, as he calls it, second trimester, right? And it's time to grow.
All right, we talked a little bit yesterday. Jerry talked on the field at practice, and since we're not going to be together on Monday leading up to the trade deadline on Tuesday, Mickey and I are. Jefferson and Savannah will hold down the fort very capably with help from Nate in Frisco, maybe. We'll see.
You should have recruited him.
No, we don't want to recruit.
We can't get rid of him. He'll be around. Don't worry.
He might be here
But
Monday. We'll see.
what do you think the Cowboys will make a trade by Tuesday's deadline?
I am leaning towards no. Unless some sweetheart deal falls in their lap. I don't think they're chasing anything. Let's put it that way.
I agree with that. That sounds
I think they'll add something. I don't know what it is, but I think they'll do something. Just add a piece.
You
And they'll
think
wait
it'll
to
be?
the last minute if
Can
they
you
do.
tell us what position that?
Yeah,
they might be looking at?
where's something at?
Yeah.
Pick a position that's not quarterback. They could add.
We talked about running backs as well.
Don't start.
Don't
Bill.
start me on running back.
It's running back, right? It's running
No,
back.
I'm not going
Oh,
there.
okay. I thought you were going there.
I'm not going there,
You're not going
although
there,
that
okay.
would be a move I would make.
No,
but-
I'm sure you would. Yeah.
but anyway,
Cornerback.
okay. If they add someone, it'll be a cornerback. Okay.
And it won't always be for this year, but towards the future.
You're saying
Something
someone.
If I can
that
get
it's
somebody
has
cheaper,
lasting value.
yeah, somebody
Yes.
I can get them cheaper than having to spend a first-round pick on.
Yeah.
Okay. Time to make our picks.
All right.
I go last because I have to think about it. Everson goes first.
Writing it down.
And Savannah's already done her homework.
Yeah, I'm glad Savannah's writing it down because I get tired of writing it down. I can't type that fast. All right. So we don't have a. Will you have that?
Yeah, we don't have a pod pick?
Yeah.
Haven't heard.
Producer?
Nope.
No
No pod
Not
pick.
today.
All right. I'll go first.
Rico Donald.
Open the door.
We got it, Nate. Thank you, sir. All right. I am looking at the Cowboys, of course, winning this game, but I think it's going to be an extremely close game. And I don't like saying that because it shouldn't be. I think the Cowboys are going to lean heavily on their defense. I think my pick to click is going to be my boy, Marquise Bell.
Ooh, number 14.
Number 14 is going to have at least 7 solo tackles. I look for him, because they're going to be trying to run the ball a lot, I look for him to have a forced fumble. And the Cowboys are going to win the game 24-20.
24-20.
Yes.
Cowboys win. Then who is your pick?
Marquise.
Okay.
Marquise Bell.
Marquise Bell.
Yeah.
All right.
Forced fumble.
Forced fumble, Marquise Bell.
That's right.
Guaranteed.
They're guaranteed.
Okay.
He's
Pretty
balling.
specific. Isn't
Oh,
it?
well, you saw him last week. He's ready.
All right.
Okay. Savannah, you're up.
Well, you guys, I think after the last few games, the hot topic of conversation is Brandon Aubrey. So he is my
I like it.
click to pick. And I think that the Cowboys will have 2 touchdowns, whether one be on defense, we will see. But I think we will have 2 field goals. I have the Cowboys winning 23-20. I think we will win by a field goal by Mr. Brandon Aubrey. And I think he is going to go 18 for 18.
Oh, look
That's
at
what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. That's the
And
one I'm
pass.
talking about.
Who is it? Travis
Coons.
Exactly.
Coons.
That's a good one.
That's good,
is a
especially
good one.
considering that Maher was on the other team, and it will
Right,
be
they have to get rid
that'll
of
be a
him.
storyline that the Cowboys
Yes.
have fixed their kicking issues for years to come.
Which, by the way, if you think about it, beginning of the season, what was our worry? Like, we didn't know anything about what
Man.
this guy
We
was
didn't know
gonna
anything
do.
about
I was still
it, yeah.
trying to bring back Maher.
And now
That was my guy, man. That
You
was
were
my
like,
guy
bring him
last
back.
year. Like, what happened?
he's poised to set a career starting the record for most field goals made consecutively. Okay, so having said all that, My hired gun in this game is going to be Dante Fowler.
Ooh, the former Ram.
He's going to get back at those Rams. Have a couple
It's
sacks.
personal. It's personal.
I'm gonna be like Everson. A couple sacks and a forced fumble.
That's a hell of a game.
And the Cowboys will win 27-20, which means that Brandon Aubrey has to kick a couple field goals for me.
Okay, very good. One of the most lopsided wins, it was the most lopsided win in Cowboys history against the Rams, came back in the 70s. Everson, you'll remember this. 37-7. I believe it was a playoff game.
Yes.
Remember Hollywood Henderson?
But it was also the coming out of Preston Pearson.
There you go.
Yeah, man.
There you go. I think Hollywood Henderson might have been on a kickoff reverse.
Yeah.
And
We did it that game, and we did another.
What year are we talking?
76 or so.
It was a good year. I think it was 77.
77? Okay.
Was it 77?
Might have been. I don't have time to look it up.
That was a good year.
Relying on memory there.
out
And
of
then
high school,
Hollywood, he spiked the foot, he dunked it over the goalpost.
That's right.
The crossbar. So
that's when you knew he was a stud.
Yeah, that's right. Who's been returning kicks for the Cowboys this year? We don't know because they don't ever return kicks anymore.
They never get a short kickoff. So
But I like Rico Dowdle as a kickoff.
Yeah, please, yeah.
Right?
I wonder how that name came to mind.
And so I'm going to go. And when you mentioned Preston Pearson, too, okay, so Rico Dowdle is the second back on this team, not in the same mold as Preston Pearson, but Rico Dowdle is my pick to click. And 37-7, Cowboys win. Duplicate the win because they always.
I don't want to be that optimistic. I wish I could, but I don't.
What are the scores of the other games they've played at AT&T Stadium this year? 30-10, and what was the Patriots game?
35-38.
It was ugly.
What was it? I got it in here somewhere.
You want it to be ugly for the other team.
That's right. So 37-7. Patriots was 38-3.
38-3.
Right. By the way, how many in the last 10 games the Cowboys have played, not including preseason, last 10 games, how many games have been on the road and how many have been at home? They've played 8 of their last 10 games on the road. The last 4 games last year, last 2 regular season plus the playoff games, and then 4 of the first 6 this year have been on the road. So 8 of the last 10. So time for a little home cooking here, and that's what I'm going with. Another blowout win at home, and which will be 11 in a row at home.
That's great.
Well, they should have a big streak of 30-point games at home also. If somebody hadn't grabbed our media guy.
It's missing again.
And we are way past time. So there you go.
Dang, we sure are. Wow.
Yep. And if Rico has a game like that, then there will not be a trade for a running back, too. So there is incentive. All right. And Savannah and Everson will be here on Monday. Mickey returns on Tuesday. And in the meantime, we have a great sports weekend, and we will see you next week.
Go Cowboys.
And go
Cowboys.
Rangers.
And Rangers.
There you go.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!